Good evening. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the show. I'm your host, Mr. A, with my partner.
Sally Song in the building, wearing my Easter pink.
Oh,
Happy
shit.
Easter, everyone.
And this is the set 6145. Tonight, this isn't so much a tough show. It's hard. And tonight we just want to do what's right and bring the spirit of somebody we were going to pay homage to, who unfortunately passed away. And this person, this gentleman, this guy, this friend, this brother, this son was somebody special. And that's the reason why we were having him on the show. And unfortunately that's not the case now because he's no longer with us. But in that spirit, what we want to do tonight is pay homage to that man and hopefully create a little nostalgia, kick up some good memories, have some laughs, because he was definitely a funny cat. So in that vein, tonight, let's put some respect on this man's name and let's celebrate the life of Mr. Gustavo Fiol, a.k.a. Blink, a.k.a. Aleem. So that's what we're going to do. Everybody in the chat, let us know you here. I already see a few people. Salute. I see the brothers are in here. Harry and Brandon, salute. I see you. Mr. Johnny Chavez, good evening. So before we get into it, so what's up, man? DMX? Woof.
Yeah, man. DMX OD'd yesterday. He was on life support. They're saying he's off life support now. People have demons, man. Some people feel like, oh, they shouldn't, people got real problems. Drugs are real problems, man. We got, family members, friends. We've all been down those roads too, I know gamblers, there's all type of addictions, guys. So, we wish him the best and, hopefully he'll pull through this. He got, he's got to pay it forward and teach people, try to help people.
For sure. I think that a lot of people forget about, and I'm glad we're talking about this. A lot of people forget or don't even realize you got to listen to DMX's lyrics. Listen, even myself slept on him. And I started reading his shit and I was like, yo.
Yeah. Now, if you listen to his, did you just get past the barking and the certain things, his lyrics, like they hit home a lot. And he was dropping double albums. So just think about all the work. That's, you're talking about Tupac territory, things like that. So, I posted something yesterday, I take, like something like the silence and I promote, I hand it in violence, you know what I mean? And that kind of hits home to me because I'm the same way. I'm kind of like a person that's quiet and I eat it, pause. And then, I lash out and then it's like, all right, now there's no turning back, you know?
The floodgates open.
So I related to, his music, but, he was one of the GOATs, man, for sure. He's definitely, if you listen to the verses, DMX and, who'd he go against?
Old Man Moment.
Yeah, I know. It's just so much shit on my mind. But anyway, if you listen to his verses, the DMX, I think Method or something, I don't know what it was, but it was fire. Oh, with Snoop, matter of fact.
Oh, what's Snoop?
It was Snoop, two legends. Yeah. So, yeah, that was, Snoop's another guy underrated, but,
I think that that X, there's so much depth there. And I think people, like you said, the barking and all that, I seen that man perform.
Yeah, thanks, Harry. Now Harry post Snoop. I got it.
He performed and he did a spoken word that he, something he wrote. Yo, son, he started crying, son. Like people were going crazy. But what he was talking, the words he was speaking, he's fucking slept on for real. Yeah, okay. One of those things, right?
Yeah.
We see Mr. Verse Santiago, we see you. The big sis Lou, we see you. The other big sis, Milagro, we see you as well. Man, so Are we gonna? Nah, we're not gonna carry on, man. I think tonight we gotta get right to it. Let me see. I know a lot of people are moving over to YouTube. Let me just click over there real quick, just to see who's over there. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, tonight is, again, if anybody needs to hear the background of tonight, we spoke to Gus on Super Bowl Sunday. We had a live Super Bowl virtual event, and we were talking to Black, and we were trying to get him to come on that night. And he's like, "Oh, I don't got a haircut," and this and that. But we're like, "All right." So we spoke after the show, and he had the song Messiah. So we were like, Easter Sunday, got to be Easter Sunday. You got to come on. The Messiah rose Easter Sunday, and he loved it. He loved the idea, and unfortunately, he went through his battle with COVID, and even then, he was still hitting us back about coming on. Don't give my date away. So, as far as we were concerned, this was his night, and we just wanted the green light from the families, and they were okay with us moving forward. So, we thank them for that, and it's a tough night, but we try to make it. Let's be positive, fellas.
For sure. I think that's something I want everybody to understand. This was definitely blessed by the family first and foremost. We put this idea together. Sully was the driving force behind the whole Easter Sunday joint. He came up with that quick.
And then he ran with it though, because he said 33 album, and I was like, Jesus rose 33. Yeah. So we had fun with it.
I just found out tonight, side note, in the vein of Gus being who he was or was a character, he was telling his brother Frank, "Yo, you don't know, son, I'm gonna come in riding on a donkey." That sounds like him, kid.
Absolutely.
Always being funny. But yeah, man. So we got the green light from the family. And you know what? It's the right thing to do, because this was a long time coming. We made this show. We always want to be true to our people and our roots. And part of that is our neighborhood. And we honored a few people. And Blink was always in the back of my mind, like, yo, if we could just get him on, you know what I mean?
Sure.
And it came through an IG message, and sure enough, Blink was all in. So tonight, I'm gonna hit this button. Tonight, we're gonna take everybody back to a moment in time where, when you heard this joint drop, it was just crazy. You know what I mean? And this man really, I don't know if that's too loud for everybody, but listen,
sounds good.
He fucking put it down. So let's pay homage to Blink. And let's have some laughs. Let's show some love.
Anybody that has contact with anybody that that knows Blink, if you could share the page, let them know to come and watch. We're involved.
All right, man. So what we're gonna do right now is we're gonna run the introduction. What's up?
Take me out for a second. Somebody open my door.
Oh, somebody open the door? All right, go ahead. While we wait for Sully to come back before I run the track, I'm just gonna tell you a little story. The first time I met Blink, it was by chance at a party. I don't know what they was doing there, but back in the day, that's what we did. Parties were going on, and you would just show up. You know what I mean? And people will welcome you in most of the time. Sometimes they were like, "Nah, get the fuck out of here." But I happened to be going somewhere, wound up that I knew somebody at the party, and him and his people, Chuck, Dino, and a few other people that I can't remember, happened to be in the party. And we were all into dancing. So we connected through that night, and we just started going everywhere together. We was always on the Ave. If everybody remembers the spots, Johnny's Pizzeria, right? That was like a meeting central part for all of us. Going to the Oasis on 50th and 5th, the Spanish fritura that was there. We would sit there and eat like crazy. But yeah, that's how it happened.
Yo.
Good to go? That was a ghost?
I got I got my heads up, B. I swear, bro. My door open right now. No lie. On everything I love, bro. Gus, if you here,
he's here, baby.
You, my brother.
Now, see, you got me yo.
I swear on everything I love. My door.
Mi pelo se subió ahora, yo.
Yo, my door open, man. Look at my head, bro.
Salute to the God, bro. Baby. Yo, Gus, we here for you, baby. I'm glad you're here. Your spirit is in the room. And with that said, you know what? The best thing to do is we're going to run this track and start this show. So let's go. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the show. I'm your host, Mr. A, with my partner.
Sally Sassong in the building. I'm a little shook up right now, people.
Fucking Chango over here. And this is the set 6145 tonight. The spirit of the great one, the Messiah, Mr. Gustavo Fiol, a.k.a. Blink, a.k.a. Aline. We are here to celebrate and commemorate his life, his accomplishments, and share a few laughs and have some fun in his memory and, and honor him. So that's what we're going to do. Yo, Sel, the room is going off.
You got a lot of love, bro. You got a lot of love.
It is going on. Salute, Adrian. We see you. King Class, Ms. Danette Chavez, thank you for coming through. We see Elijah Santiago, Maria Hassan. We see everybody in the room. We're going to flash the number to call in. But first, we want to have, a few conversation with the guest. And we're going to play some things and, everybody just keep doing what you're doing right now, man, because we really feeling this love right now in the room, especially since Papa Chango over here somehow summoned our brother into, I don't know how he did it.
I told you, this was his night. This is his night. He told us so.
For real.
Know.
You people need to understand that when I found, Sally hit me up and told me that Blink had contracted COVID. And I was like, man, and I immediately sent him a message in hopes that he somehow snuck his phone in the hospital or whatever the case may be. And he immediately was like, yo, like his immediate response was, don't give up my spot. That was like first and foremost.
Yeah.
And I was like, yo, I'm sending you love, kid. If anybody, like, just like I told Sully when he, got sick, anybody's built for it is you. You know what I mean? So he was like, yo, I'm going to get my white boys together to fight this corona dude. He was just being funny. That's who he was, So we were really looking forward to having him on the show. Mr. Sean Johnson, I see you. If I believe that is the Sean that I know, I see you. Salute. Yeah, so you know what? I think we're going to move to our first guest. I just want to check something really quick. So
no doubt.
Listen, I'm going to take myself out the room really quick. All right.
Yeah.
I got to check something.
Again, everybody, Easter, happy Easter. Hope y'all, sharing your time with your loved ones. We're here to, share this moment. Just gonna, we're gonna have a tough night getting through this. As far as because of the love, but we're gonna get through it. We're gonna get through this and keep us going, man. The family needs us. Everybody out there, however you can help, man. People forget about people when they pass, and look at the things that happen, in the public light, with Joe and Big Pun and all the stuff that's going on. I mean, we all have to play our part, and try to be there for the families and be around. This is I believe he's in here. You guys are like, he's here for sure. This was his night, so we were here. Let's do this.
Man, you messed me up with that. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you know what? We're going to bring a guest on. I believe it's two. We're going to have family members come on right now. We're going to have a conversation with them. And I hope everybody is feeling this right now. I hope everybody understands that as you go through life, sometimes you got to look past bullshit, whether it's your fuckery or their fuckery, and just be an adult, because you can't talk to nobody when they're gone. Don't get caught with words in your mouth and that person can't respond anymore. You heard? So learn something. Tonight, we're going to bring on Mr. Frank. I don't want to mess up Valerie's name because I don't see her. I believe it's Valerie Fiol as well. Frank, is that who it is? Throw your hand up if I'm correct. All right. Yeah. He's going to let me know. He's going to be like, yeah. Tonight, we're going to speak to the family and let's chop it up and have some fun. So without further ado, let's bring the family members on. Frank and Valerie. Good evening.
Good evening. How you doing?
So wait a minute, Valerie, you're Rosales.
Yes.
You're a cousin, niece, married.
I'm a half sister.
Okay, no, you're a sister. There's no half sister.
I'm a sister.
That's right. That's right. So, Frank, good to have you on the show.
Thank you for having us.
Please let everybody in the family know we're really, really honored, and we really respect the fact that you guys gave us.
We got mom right here. We got mom right here.
Mami? ¿Dónde está mami?
Okay.
Bendición, mami.
Bendiciones.
Diablo. Se parece. Your brother looks like your mom, son. Igualito salió a ti. De verdad. For real. So everybody in the room, as you can see, we have Blink's mom, his brother, and his sister. So let's have this conversation. Frank, I want to start early on. I want to go back to some of your earliest memories. When did you start realizing that your brother had a talent for music?
Well, I remember from the earliest days, we would break dance, and we would do break dance and shows for my mom, like for the family, right? And I was 7 years younger, so he used to basically throw me under his legs, spin me, do all that shit. You know what I'm saying? So, we started in hip hop real early, from that time. And I remember the first record that really changed me was when he brought Criminal Minded. And I remember it was the BDP joint. Are You a Philosopher? Yes.
My philosophy.
Yes.
Yeah.
My philosophy, right. So at that time, we were just listening to hip hop all the time, and that was what it was. We had the boom box out the third floor window, you know what I'm saying? The tapes, Red Alert, Mr. Magic. It was all that, at that time. And but I didn't really realize what was going on with him until he dropped that first joint, Messiah. So when he dropped Messiah, that was the first thing that he ever wrote. People don't realize that.
Frank, stop right there. I need to ask you this. I've rhymed with Blink when we first met, and Blink's structure and cadences have always been in the vein of Rakim.
That was his idol.
Yes, we had many discussions, but what I want to ask you is, because you said that's the first rhyme he wrote. Who was the one that gave him song structure? Because in the 80s, I've heard many records from back then where you can tell the guy just wrote a rhyme and they threw it on the beat and that was it. When you listen to Messiah and when you listen to Insane, it is absolutely a structured song.
And it was ahead of its time.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
I think the main thing with Gus is an intellectual. Gus has always been an intellectual. And I think that he got a lot of his vocabulary. He was playing D&D back in those days. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, he was going heavy for the D&D. And I got a lot of his vocab. He was just an intellectual. So everything that he got was from what he read. He was always an avid reader. He, the first and foremost, like I said, he was just a smart dude. So it was almost effortless for him to write that way because he had those prose and that poetry already kind of in his blood. You know what I'm saying? My mom's grandfather,
mm-hmm.
He was a poet. My mom's grandfather, he was a poet in El Salvador. You know what I'm saying? So, and he was a famous poet. So it runs in the blood. You know what I mean? And like I said, he was always, he had the beautiful thing about Gus is that he had all these sides to him. He had the sides that when we were chilling, he'd make me laugh. He's silly as fuck, just kind of hysterical. You know what I mean? And then he had the side that was, he could talk to like a neurologist. He could talk to, his level of vocabulary was impeccable. You know, it was impeccable. So he had that. So he was so multidimensional that I think that he just scratched the surface of who he was really. You know what I mean?
For sure.
There were so many things that he brought to the table, and I think that's why for him, like that being his first rhyme didn't surprise me, because his intelligence was so incredible. You know, he was just, and I mean, yeah, he's our dungeon master. That's right, he's our dungeon master. Yeah, so he was always leading the way. That's the thing with Gus. Gus was always leading the way. He was whether he was whether we were like together with the brothers and he was making us laugh and he was leading the way with jokes, or you know what I'm saying, he would set shit off, or if he was leading the way with letting you know how good you were as a person, he was leading the way. You know what I'm saying? If he was leading the way on being like how you should be doing the right thing and be like, yo, you should hit so and so up because they're going through a hard time. You know what I'm saying? So he was always that. And so everything that he did was in that vein. He was always true. He was always true. He always was honorable, and he was always a person of. He never fronted. He was always what you saw was what you got.
Yeah.
You know.
He. When I think of Gus back then, and you speak about his character, I mean, those are all the facets of who he was, and I think that's something that we immediately took to when we used to have conversations, like the ones I spoke to you about, reading and speaking and learning about governments and think tanks and institutions that people don't really pay attention to, right? So in when he saw that my interest and my understanding of those things was already there, we gravitated to each other and we used to have conversations. And it's funny because, as I told you, we were young teens. We were 14, 15 years old. Now, fast forward, everybody knows Illuminati, right?
Yeah.
And to me, I find that hysterical.
Yeah.
Let me make mention, because if everybody's in the room right now, the set has officially reached Australia. We have 2 watchers. We have Jasmine. We have Jasmine, and there's another one. Where is she?
That's our cousin.
That's our cousins.
Okay. Wow. This is amazing. The love is coming from all over the world, man. So, this is kind of tough right now. I want to ask you, Frank, at what point does Gus push away from the music? Because if you listen, I mean, even now, I was trying to get myself into the mode of bringing forth, the right messages and just in the right spirit to speak about this man. And on my way home, I was listening to "Follow the Leader" by Rakim. I was listening to Selly's favorite song, "Wrath of Cain."
I love that joint. That's one of my joints too. But that little guitar.
I remember we were at the studio. We'll change to the Ritz, and hearing that in the club, I was like, "Oh God.
Bananas!"
Yeah,
but even more so, hearing it in the clubs we used to go to locally in Woody's, Tom McCann, St. Michael's, like even in the house parties, crazy. But I was getting into the mode of remembering who Gus was and what we were consuming, right? So in that sort of vein, like, do people really understand the extensiveness of his artistry? And again, going back to it, at what point does he start to say, all right, I need to put this down and I need to move on to something else?
I think that yeah, for sure it happened in stages. It happened in stages, he went through a lot of things in his life, and every time one of those things happened, he would kind of move away from the music. But the beautiful thing about that is that he would always write about his experiences. So a lot of the pain that he went through in his life, he expressed it in his art, but he didn't share it. He would share it with me. He would share it with the fam, with the brothers. But he never really, I mean, when it came to the music, he didn't do the music because like he wanted to be on. Like he was never that dude. He wasn't like, oh, I want to be on. Yeah, if that came along with it, he was all for it and he would jump on it. But he was really doing it because, I mean, he was a true artist. He loved what he did. And he would pour his heart out in every lyric that he would write. That's why everything that he's done has made a huge impact, because it's soul music. It's soul music what he did. So I think that his journey was such that like his legacy was more about his heart. You know what I'm saying? Like and like the human experience, because like we all go through things in our lives, and I think that everything that he went through, he would write down, but he never really wanted to share it in a large platform. And I think that was part of his struggle, because part of him wanted to share it, but then part of him also didn't want to share it. He didn't want to be maybe so, and this is just conjecture, maybe he didn't want to be that vulnerable, on wax, so I don't know the true reason, but I know that he went through different parts of his life. But like his divorce was a big deal, things that he went through in different points in his life. So he would kind of like it would be where he would, and he also focused on the comics. And I think that happens with a lot of us human beings, that we don't follow our dreams in his lifetime, and then what ends up happening is that we follow a different path, and maybe we end up with regrets after. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's a confidence. I think that's a lesson that he's left me with, at least, that everything that he's done, everything that I want to make sure that I foment his legacy. I want to make sure that every single thing that he wrote, every voice note that he sent me, I'm going to put that on the track. Everything that he wanted to be, actually, that he in his heart he wanted to share. I want to pass that on, because I think that's one of the biggest lessons that I got from his passing, is that, we don't have, we don't have a lot of time here. We could be gone in a second. You know what I'm saying? And, if you want to do something, you got to do it now. You got to do it now. Even if you're scared, even if you got demons that you fighting, because that's what makes us all human. That's what we all share, and that's what people resonate with. So when you share that, that's when you connect with people. You know what I'm saying? And I think that was part of the reasons why he perhaps was on and off, because he would, like, the stuff that he would go for like a year without writing something, then he would drop something, and it's like burning anybody in a frame. Like, just like ridiculous, like ridiculously nasty, like nasty. I'll tell you a story. We were at the beach one time, and that's another thing. My brother was extremely protective. He was like this big energy in our family, that he was like the glue, basically, of our family. And I remember we went to the beach, and it was all the brothers. We went to the beach. And we had a little cipher going, and some other cats from God knows where were there, and we were going back and forth. And I kicked I spit my little rhyme, my little right knowledge rhyme, and so the dude tried to get at me, and he's trying to get at me on some battle shit. I wasn't on some battle shit though, but he was trying to get at me on some battle shit. You know what I'm saying? So he was trying to get at me, and I was caught off guard. But then Gus came through on a super big brother protective shit.
I got you.
Adrian was at the beach too that day, and he starts going. Gustav's going. He starts going straight into reggae chanting, like straight up, but like that. And he was like, "What did he say?" He's like, "You need new shoes. They're very old." Not new, but going in on dude. And he had everybody dying, everybody laughing, but he was doing it because he was just a protective big brother too. You know what I'm saying? So he was so many things to all of us. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Leo was there, Bishop was there, Adrian was there. We were all there. Yeah, because because the dude caught me off guard, but then he just murdered. Yeah, you need to buy new shoes. Yeah. So, we had a lot of good memories. A lot of that. It's funny because I was going through the texts. I kept all his texts, and I was going through the text, and one of the texts that he said, make sure, because he was sending me some jokes, and he was like, when I die, remember our laughter. That's what he told me. That's what he told me. So that was one of the biggest things that's one of the things I miss the most about is the laughter that we shared. You know what I'm saying? That's one of the biggest things, and his, he's my only brother that he's my only brother that's like that I grew up with. You know what I'm saying? Good. And the hole that he's left in this family is like kind of immeasurable. It's it's a huge void. It's a huge void in the family right now. It's a really big void, and we're just trying to make sense of it all right now because we don't understand what's going on. Like, we don't understand why and how this happened, because it all happened so quickly and so traumatically, if I'm going to be honest. You know what I'm saying?
Of course.
But the beautiful thing is that the one beautiful thing I could say about is that he had us all around him when he passed, and a lot of families didn't get that opportunity, especially during these days. We were all around him in the ICU, in those last moments. We were all there together as a family as he took his last breath, and as a family, we're never gonna forget that. On a level that it was impactful on us, but also because God was with us that day, that allowed us to all be around him and touch him and hold him in his last moments. You know what I'm saying? So, and so we thank all of you for honoring him, because is what he deserves, and we really grateful, really grateful.
We thank you guys. Frank, to follow up on what you were saying earlier, he's not clout chasing, as they would say nowadays, right? He was never clout chasing, and we have what you said about doing what you love, and this is something we spoke about for years. Me and my partner here doing the show, and I went through Castleman's disease and radiation stuff, and I finally was like, what, let's do it. Like you said, Gus would always be like, follow your dreams type stuff, and people like, oh, you so sports, just do sports. And I'm like, nah, I know more than sports. Let's talk everything, and it gives us a platform to bring all types of people into this world to touch. And we thank you guys for being here, like we said, and we ain't cloud chasing either. We're just here to spread love and be positive.
That's right.
And we thank you guys, for being here again, and all the family.
Before we sort of part a little bit, I want to know if it would be possible to ask your mom what was her favorite characteristic of her son.
Okay, I'm gonna move the camera a little bit so she could speak. So, Mom, what's your favorite characteristic of Gus?
He is so kind, so funny. He was always make me laugh. No matter what, even if I was sad, he'd come with something and say something funny.
Mm-hmm.
And I just remember him when he was little, he said, I'm the fans. And he said, Mom, please give me that jacket. And Adam, it's a leather jacket from Fans.
Oh, okay.
The Fans.
Hey.
I went to buy him a leather jacket. And he always said, the Fans, like that. He was the fan. He loved it.
Wow. The comedian.
Beautiful. I couldn't ask for a better son.
Okay.
That's right.
He was so beautiful, so intelligent, and I'm never going to forget him. It's my angel now. He is my angel.
Y estamos aquí con nosotros porque antes que vinieron ustedes, Le abrí la puerta de este tipo aquí. Él tenía el puerto cerrado y se abrió así, como nada. So, para mí,
Él está aquí con nosotros.
él está
Yes.
aquí con nosotros. Claro que yes. Man, I want to ask your sister a question. I want you to tell our audience what's your favorite memory that you had with Gus. And I'm sure there's a lot of them, but I want you to really like think of your like you remember this time, your favorite memory of Gus.
One of my favorite memories with my brother is he invited me to a Halloween party to hang out with his friends. And I was like, yeah, of course. I was so excited. So I got dressed up and I went with my costume and I met up with him. He was there with a couple of his friends and some girls from the Bronx. And, you know, when I came in, the girls were being kind of shady to me. And I'm a really friendly person. When I first meet you, I'm really friendly. So I was being really friendly towards them. And my brother was peeping that. He was like, my sister's shady, but she's being really sweet right now. And these girls are being like assholes. So
Bitches.
like 2 minutes later, he just turns around and he's
That's
like,
the Bronx for you.
who the fuck do you bitches think you are? Like, he just went off on these chicks. And I was like, Gus, no, you don't have to do that. He's like, nah, I don't give a fuck. That's my little sister. You're not going to treat her like that. And these girls like ran out of the party and his boy went and chased them. And then his boy came back and was like, they got in a taxi. And I was like, oh my God. And it was just so funny. That's how my brother was. He always protected me from like everyone. You couldn't even look at me the wrong way. And he was on you. You know what I mean? So that's like, it's like I lost like kind of like my father because he protected me in that way, you know? So I'm gonna definitely miss that protection from him, you know?
I think that big brothers always seem to be the protective ones over everybody.
Yeah, he was.
And being, if I'm not mistaken, he was the first boy, no?
He was the firstborn,
Yes.
the firstborn of the family. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, that those shoes will never be filled. But I think
Never.
the most important thing that we need to do is always remember, right? We always need to keep his memory alive. So for as long as this show is going to be on, we always tell our guests, you're part of the family now. We're going to always have a remembrance of Gus, and it's going to be on Easter Sunday. And every Easter
Sunday. Gosh, thank you so much.
That's right. Every Easter Sunday, we're going to get together
thing.
and we're going to chop it up and we're going to talk about that.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
And hopefully by this time next year, we can have more people on and we can have Natalie on and have a good time and just
hopefully we could be in a studio somewhere.
Yeah, hopefully we could be in the studio by that time. So to you and the family, you know, we give you our condolences, and you know, we really want to say thank you for allowing us to have this moment in time. And you know, I hope that the Most High keeps your whole family to get you through this. I know it's a very, very trying time, but if anything, we're in communication. We'll reach out anytime. I can tell you more stories. We can share stories, and I really appreciate you guys coming on. All right?
Thank you so much. Like we're so grateful for the honor that you're doing, and I can feel the love. We can all feel the love, because that's what he would have wanted. He would have wanted this that's going on right now. You know, there's just so much. He would have wanted us just to be together right now in this moment, in this kind of togetherness right now.
For sure.
Yeah.
Sure. So I'm gonna tuck you away. Just stay here, keep watching the show. We're gonna talk some more later on. But
yeah,
all right.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right.
Thank you guys.
That's tough, man.
Yeah.
It's tough, but it's a beautiful thing because you know, you get to hear and see these, you know, these people, his family who was so close to him and knew him from childhood, and you know, his mom raised him, his brother and him grew up together, his sister, and you see all these different facets of a person you knew. And it's a beautiful thing, man. I mean, again, look at everybody in the room, kid.
It's just trying times, you know. It's like they said, it's so suddenly and tragically, you know, when you're older and you prepare for someone, you know, passing, you kind of prepare for it. You're never really prepared, but you're kind of like, all right, they're older. But when you're young and like, mom has to like say goodbye to her son, that's tough. That's like, you should never have to do that in life. And, I mean, they're very strong. I'm just letting them know this family is very strong, just like Gus was very strong. And Gus was always positive, and he wanted, he would, always be like, remember this, but look at this, like he would always kind of be like, yeah, you struggling right now, but look at this. And he'd be like, oh, you know what, Gus, you're right. Yeah. It's always, light at the end of the tunnel. And that's what they, I would ask the families, just, be positive and get through the work together right now,
Most important part is to stick together. You need to support and love one another to get through this moment. And like you said about Gus, a lot of foresight. He was able to see forward. But I keep going back to his fucking comedy. he was a character, that dude.
Yeah, no.
For real.
And then you kind of like, he made you like, want, like, is he playing or is he, like he used to be like, yo, he's joking or like, what's going on?
All right. I want to bring on our next guest. I think he stepped away from his screen right now. Before we bring him on, let's let him get in the chair. Yo, dude, the room is deep. Yo, son, just deep, son. Yeah, like man. The OG Anthony Lopez, we see you.
That's how Gus touched a lot of people, man.
For real. Anthony Torrio, I saw your message earlier, man. Salute. I'm glad you could be with us. Miss Joanna Rios, we see you. Salute to Mike P.O. So now we're going to bring in another guest, somebody who was instrumental in making this happen. Back in the day for Blink, he was part of the whole, I wouldn't say movement. I would just say his coming forward, his birth into the record scene. He was part of a team. He put a lot of hard work in. His name rings bells. And he's well respected in the industry. So tonight, the set wants to welcome our big bro, Mr. Mikey Delgado. Mikey.
Gentlemen, how are you guys? What's up, cousins?
What's going on, buddy?
What's up, babe?
We good, man. We good. I'm glad you could join us. I know, you're a busy cat, but, you gave us your time tonight, and I appreciate it.
My pleasure, man. My pleasure.
Of course. So I have a lot of questions, but I'm going to minimize it because there's just so much going on. But in speaking to Frank about Gus's talent, right? I was trying to understand or sort of ascertain who was the one. Did Gus come in and write song structure, or was somebody there going, okay, you just can't rap straight through, it has to be a song?
Well, and let me start off by saying that if the family's watching, I want to express my deepest condolences to them. I hope they're still on, and
they are.
Gus was something special early on, up until time he passed, and his talent was unmatched in a lot of ways. He was one of the first Latinos, and this is how I remember Gus. He was one of the first Latinos to go on radio. I think it was maybe 3 cats that were Latinos, and they were on, and Red Alert was killing their records. But I think the other 2 guys that were on were like more novelty rappers. They were more like, what was going on back then, the fun rap. Gus wasn't doing that. He was doing that to a certain extent, but we all knew and respected his talent because of what you were talking about earlier, about how deep he was with his skills in writing. And so it goes back to, day one. Like, he was just way beyond his years. And I just want to express that on, before we continue. But I'll go back to a Harry story. Like, I'm here, and my part was minimal, although it was part of the record. Of course. You really have to give the props to Kenny Dope, the producer, and definitely Harry, because Harry was part of that team. They were an incredible team together. And I'm just gonna say a Harry story, right out of the horse's mouth. So what they would do is they would get together, Harry and Gus, and Gus would have a notebook and notebooks, and there was a lot of structure to it, but it needed to be like what you were talking about. It needed to be broken down to a verse. It needed to be maybe get a hook, maybe the next verse, maybe leave things out. So they would go, Gus and Harry would go to Bliss Park and sit there for 6, 8, 10 hours, he would tell me. And they would go through all those rhymes that he had already written and just keep adding to them, change them, move things around. I really wish Harry was here to talk about this, because I mean, he's the guy. But you know what? I think he's going to do this with Kenny on a later date, and I hope you guys give those guys dedicate a date just to let them say their story, because they got a lot more stories than I do. But I'm just talking from what I know, what I've seen, and what I heard. So yeah, Harry was the type of dude that will go and sit down. They were just so tight that they go to a park, sit down, and then just revise rhymes, work on stuff, take something out, change this, do that. And that's what they did. And they did that days on end all the time. And that's why, Harry was Gus's push, like Gus needed to be pushed. Harry told me he needed to be pushed. He needed to be told, yo, you got to go to the studio. You got to do this. You got to get this done. I think that was the biggest problem, was getting him into the studio. But once he was in the studio, the magic was there. He was amazing. I mean, they say he got about 6, 7 albums in notebooks. Yeah, easily.
Let me ask you a question. You've heard many artists. You've heard, because this is your life's work. You've always been, in the business, until you took time off to handle your personal affairs, of course. Right. What was it like first hearing finished product by Blink?
Like I said, it was different. It was new. Like when I heard his stuff, he was on, you got to keep in mind of the times that, we were listening to that early rap. A lot of that stuff was just transitioning from what I was talking about before, that novelty rap. Then it was starting to go hardcore. It was starting to go Big Daddy Kane, Public Enemy, and those hardcore dudes. And then Gus came along, and I'm like, yo, this dude is writing stuff like that is unprecedented. It's like ridiculous. Like, where did this guy come from? And when I remember Gus, I remember being in Harry's house with him one time, and I remember Harry playing something. We were very young, and Harry playing something, and then he was just started off the top of his head, just started going, and then I was like, this guy's just got it. Like, he's got it. I keep hearing pianos. Like, is that?
Don't mind.
Shut that shit off.
Somebody is acting up right now.
No, actually, you know what? I thought I was hitting the keys.
No. That means I gotta turn it off. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Mike. Go ahead.
So yeah, when I heard him early on, man, he was just just a step beyond everybody else in that class, and I just wish he did more. I wish he showcased himself a little bit more, because he would have been a force to reckon with, for sure. He was dope.
I was coming home today. We've been talking about this even prior to all of this happening.
Right.
I was coming home today specifically, and this has kind of been a weight on my shoulders. But I was trying to get myself in the proper mode, right? So I was playing music from back then. So as I crossed the Holland Tunnel and I'm heading towards the turnpike, I'm like, you know what? I need to play Insane right now. I need to listen to this.
Yeah.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't heard Insane, or if you haven't heard it in a while, I would implore you to sit down when you have, a free time, like on a Sunday or whenever you're off and you're just relaxed or whatever, or if you're in the gym, throw this on and listen to the lyrical content. Blink gets on this record. First of all, I don't know who was I would say Kenny, who decided to put that mouth harp or mouth banjo in there. That boom, boom, bam. First of all, that was crazy.
Yeah.
Second of all, we're in 2021. My wife has a system in her car. When you hear that beat, that shit bumps.
Yeah.
It's still, and it's clean, right?
Yep.
Lastly, the point I wanted to make about it all, the lyrical content, if you played that today, like nobody knows, and you just threw it on the radio, they would be like, yo, who's that?
It would be relevant today.
Super relevant.
But, and you have to really, you have to put into context when he recorded that record, how many years ago that was. Like,
and I'm glad you said that.
That's like, it's ridiculous.
In I don't know exactly when he recorded it, but it's stamped 89.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, if it's stamped 89, he probably given it maybe a year before that with the promotion and everything. Maybe 6 months to a year before that, he recorded that.
So if you listen to the lyrical content and then you think of the MCs that were out back then, Blink, and I'm not saying this because I knew him. Listen to the fucking record. If you're a hip hop fan, you listen to that record. Nobody used armadillo in a rap ever. Yo, and I found it funny too. I was like, I'm laughing at myself. It's like only this cat would use the word armadillo and get away
with it. Yeah,
and make it sound dope. Be like lyrics hard like an armadillo, and I'm like that went over everybody's head. Everybody, you know.
Yeah,
that song is just it's crazy. It's crazy.
It was.
Listen to Frank.
Red played that song over and over again, man.
Who ladies and gentlemen, I don't know what's going on, but somebody's doing me dirty right now.
Is that you?
Yeah. Sorry. I turned my phone off thinking it was my phone. It's not, it's my computer.
Listening to Frank talk about, like him almost, I wouldn't say be shy, but like just write his stuff and not kind of put it out. I think back to him being the big brother, like the sister said, and Frank said, like always being protective. There was a lot of animosity also towards him as we were younger, being one of the first guys in the neighborhood. Guys kind of like, so maybe he felt like, you know what? I'm gonna just fall back, because his peoples around him were getting into problems also, with him. So maybe, in hindsight, he probably was just like, yeah, you know what? I'm gonna protect everyone, step back. This fucking guy.
Yo, you know what it is? They're not watching the show and they're just buzzing the line.
Oh.
Selly, could you elaborate on that, what you were just talking?
Look at Frank just wrote, Gus is playing jokes on you. That's Gus. Yeah. That's great.
Yo, Mikey, I'm going to tell you, I don't know if you heard, did you hear earlier what happened to Selly?
I did not know.
All right. Selly, hold that thought. I want to tell Mike. So right before we were going to start the show, with me and Selly are talking, Frank were talking, and he's like, oh shit, yo, tuck me away. I'm like, what happened? He's like, somebody opened my door. So I tuck him away. He comes back. I'm like, yo, what's the matter? He goes, yo, the hairs on me standing. He's like, yo, somebody opened my door. I was like, stop playing. And he's like, for real, somebody opened my. I said, yo, it's Gus. He's like, yo, look, my hairs are standing.
In your house, Gus?
Yeah, right here in the front door. Yeah, the door right here.
Oh wow, that's crazy.
Door right here. Like when y'all watch the replay, you're gonna hear the door open. Like,
oh man,
everybody's gonna, because I was like, yo, what the? Everybody's. I locked everybody in the cages already.
Blink is trying to make sure we don't fuck nothing up. He's like, don't be playing with my name, kid. You better get this shit right. For real. Yo, listen to this. Listen to this. That, oh my God. The Messiah too is another. Selly,
that's sonic shit right there.
For real. Let's go back to what you were saying. You were saying maybe he fell back a little bit because it was getting into problems.
Yeah,
it was a lot of jealousy.
I don't know if it was animosity, whatever it was. You could call it what it is. People, they had their street issues, and Gus, guys was fighting. He was down. If it happened, it happened. Let's do this. But he wasn't out there looking for trouble.
Nah, never.
And none of those people around him was either. So, you got to look at it as like, you know what? I'm bringing my peoples into problems over something that I'm trying to, do. and he probably just fell back. You know, I mean, I can't think for the man. You know, I'm just saying, like, knowing his character.
Yeah, well, I could comment on that a little bit because he, you know, he was always with Harry, and Harry's been my boy from day one. So there were times that within the neighborhood, you guys both know how our neighborhood is. You get an outsider that comes in to the neighborhood and is getting somewhat, you know, a little bit of attention.
Mm-hmm.
There's some haters, man. It's just it never fails. It's just the outside guy is always the outcast, and then people are gonna test, and that's what started happening. And I was never down with that shit. Like I wasn't down. Like, you know what? If you're a good dude, you're a good dude. But you know, there was people that they had beef. Like Gus and his little crew had beef, and then Harry was his boy. So you know, there was times that we had to get involved just to, you know, like yo. These guys are with us. Like, what the hell? What the fuck's going on? Like,
put people in uncomfortable situations.
Yeah.
Like, I know you and I know them. What are you doing?
Right. It happened a lot, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Well, speaking of haters, there was a few rappers. There was a few rappers from the neighborhood that I know, that we all know. That when Blink dropped his joint, that sucker shit went up like by 100. They really was like, because they were rappers too.
Yeah, and he was on, like you said, BLS, right? 98.7.
He was on the Red Alert show, and he was on Mr. Magic show.
Yeah.
You know, who do you know? Like, who do we know specifically from our hood that did that?
Yep.
Nobody. He was.
And it wasn't even one. It wasn't one time plays. Is when they had their show. Right. They played that joint. Red played that joint every time.
Heavy.
He played his show every time.
Heavy.
So
heavy.
Yeah, there were haters, man. And I remember there used to be beef going on, and you know, a little party. They used to want to just come and hang. Him and his crew, Harry, be with them. Then you got an outside crew. Well, not even a crew from the neighborhood got beef with them. You're stuck in the middle of it, like, what the fuck, man? These people here just having a good time. You know, maybe they're scooping up some girls from the neighborhood that maybe the fellas, you know how it used to be. And it happened a lot, man. It happened a lot. Unfortunately, it happened a lot.
You know, and it's crazy. Because like my era of guys, we like the R&S era, right? And we united the neighborhood. You know, we all kind of like, if we went out, it was sunset. We was together.
The whole crew,
you know? Yeah. And it was like, you know, oh shit, why divide and conquer when we strong together? And when we used to go out, it was 60 of us, you know, 70. You didn't know who's who. Oh, these guys are down the block, call them over here. And that's how, you know, we wanted it to be. You know, and it's funny, the OGs were like, you know, flipping. We were like, yo, dude, like we all, you know, we're a few blocks away from each other.
Never made sense to me. It never made sense how, you know, you could hate on somebody just because he was from another neighborhood, or, you know, an outsider, somebody you don't know, somebody getting attention. That shit used to happen way too many times in the hood. Yeah.
Well,
and he was a subject of that shit, and he, you know, I know that he went through some bullshit in the neighborhood, but you know, if I was there, man, I wasn't never gonna let nothing happen to Harry. Yeah. And then, you know, and if, you know, and Gus too, because there was times that I never went at that guy. That guy he was up until the other day, man. Like we never kept in contact phone wise or nothing, but we hit each other on Facebook and Instagram up until like 2 weeks before his passing, and I was like, I could not believe it, man. I just couldn't believe it, man. It was like, that shit was like heartbreaking.
It's funny how tragedy brings people together, and it sucks. It really fucking sucks. I mean, I was telling Sally right before this all, you know, happened, this was going to be the first conversation in years. But when I reached out to him, when I found out he was following the show, he immediately responded. So it was like, yo, it's like I'm catching up, you know what I mean, with like family, so to speak. And then for it to turn around like this, it's just, you know, it sucks. Yeah. And people need to start realizing, like, especially, I mean, if COVID didn't teach you anything, like the overall year, right? If it didn't teach you anything, you're going to continue to be the asshole you are. And, you know, if that's the case, good, stay the fuck away from me.
I eliminated so many people, man. I don't want to, and to this day, like even now, I'll be like, oh, okay, yeah, you're out of here. Like I just don't want, like this last year has just been like, yo, if you ain't positive, I ain't fucking with you.
Yep. But I tell everybody around me.
let me close out that little subject which we were speaking about. There was one group in particular that didn't like Blink's situation. And the crazy thing is that it was pure sucker shit.
Yep.
Like, it wasn't even a competition thing, because I was like, what's wrong with these dudes? Because it wasn't just Blink. It was a few other people even after that, even RNS too. Like these same dudes. And I was like, let me listen to their music. Maybe they feel like they're being, like Kenny and Mike and these people don't want to help them. Let me see what it's about. Hot trash. Like, no creativity. No, I'm like, I know why you're mad. You're mad because you suck. You should just go get a day job and forget about it. Which most of them did anyway. But, people like that, you just got to stay the fuck away from. But it's all good because Blink was stamped official. He did something that nobody from our neighborhood did. People have been on Babito and whatever, but he was on the 2 hottest shows in New York City multiple times, right?
When you had monsters on that show.
Monsters. Everybody who was anybody.
Yeah.
There were people that got overlooked and probably never got played on those shows that were like talked about, names ringing bells, but they never, you know what I mean? For him to do that, man, you have to fucking respect it. You know what I mean? And
it's funny, Harry sent me a 45-minute mix of one of Red's shows, and he told me listen at 30 minutes. That's when he played Messiah. Yeah, and
I was posting the tape. I was posting it.
So if you listen to that tape from beginning to end, everybody on that tape is a legend. Every record on that mix tape or that show is legendary today. They're in the middle of awards. They're in the middle of Hall of Fames, Rock and Roll Hall of Fames. Those cats that were side by side, music playing, were the same cats that are famous today. So, that's why I always wish we got more out of him, out of Gus.
Man. His lyrical abilities, ladies and gentlemen, if you have not listened to those records, you need to. It's only 2, but there's so much weight. There's so much depth. It's so the way it's constructed, the sound structure, the song structure, and it was geared for that time.
Right.
Not only did Gus get his off lyrically, but the music that packaged everything and put it together made it a party joint, because everybody dance. We remember when we used to dance. You remember that?
Yeah.
Yep.
Motherfuckers don't dance. We used to dance. Dance. Those joints were packaged so well that he already would get you dancing, but at the same time, if you listen to it, you're like, yo, this dude's nice. Mm-hmm. If we would have had an album,
that's what I'm implying. Like, wish I had a full package of something that from that Cosmopolitan notebook of his,
for real,
like a whole package. I would have loved to have heard it.
And he would have only, improved his craft, like you said, sharpened the sword.
Yeah, from then till now.
Mm-hmm.
Harry just sent me something recently that he recorded, and the lyrics on it just blew my mind. I'm like, holy shit! Like, oh my god! Like, and he just recorded this not too long ago, and it was crazy. I don't know if you guys heard it, but Harry sent it to me, and then forget it. I had the bumps going like crazy, like lyrically, like a step beyond.
Man.
Crazy.
Mr. Delgado, Big Bro Mike, we appreciate your time, man. I'm glad you
My pleasure.
And share with us, for real. You know what it is over here. You always welcome anything going on. That. All you got to do is hit the button. That. You with us, brother.
All right, man. All right. And before I leave, let me just say something.
Please.
To Frank, his brother. I sent the message with Harry. I don't know if he put it out there. I'm sure he did. But I got a full-fledged studio here. It's available to him free of charge. You want to get Black in here to do some beats. You want to get Harry, somebody in here to do beats. Like, I'll engineer the whole session. They can record in here, you know. So my studio is open to them, you know, whenever they want to use it. Just, you know, get past my information on to him. And Papo, you got my phone and everything.
I got your math.
And you know, and we'll make it happen. But yeah, my studio is available to them for sure.
Big bro, you know what it is. We love you. Good energy, good vibes. Keep doing your thing, brother. We here.
Appreciate you guys, man.
All right, cuz. Love you.
I love you guys, man. Take care.
See, when I hear shit like that, it makes me want to keep doing this fucking show. You know what I mean,
bro? Like I was trying to get through earlier to Frank. I couldn't really talk, man. You know, it was, you know, it's tough, you know, like it's tough to you hear me?
Somebody's fighting outside.
You know, like I had a situation with this dude this week, and I just told him, you know, like, you know, the set is something that we wanted to do, and I ain't about clout. You know what I mean? Like, you know me as a person. I'm not arguing with a troll. I'm talking to you as a person that knows me, and I do this because I want my kids to have a portfolio, a catalog. They could just go to YouTube if I'm not around anymore and be like, oh, you know what? That's my dad right there. I can see him talking. So I ain't about being the next Joe Rogan or whatever. You know, we ain't about that. But if it happens, hey, yeah, you know, but whatever. Like I said, we ain't here for that. We're here to, you know, talk real stories and, you know, never forget where we come from.
Hell no. The moniker is the set. It's named after the neighborhood we come from. And we're always going to ride with that name because it's part of who we are. And as you just saw, the big bro stepped up heavy to the plate. And why did he do that? Because it's about love. It's about that connection and respecting the legacy. You know, motherfuckers who have access and can do things and step up in moments like this, those are the real motherfuckers that, you know, that you should rock with and keep those people close and always respect and show love. You saw it happen here. Man, that se me subió los pelos ahora. You know? So, ladies and gentlemen, the phone line is open. All right? If you want to call the show, you want to share some of your love for the brother Gus. If you want to tell a story, not a long one.
Yeah.
We want to give everybody the opportunity. The line is open, 973-765-6247. Call into the show. We'll bring you on. And like I said, no long-winded shit. All right?
Yeah, we got to just keep it to like, 2 minutes and, let everybody, if anybody else want to call, get them through.
For sure. Crazy. It's really crazy to see, when you see things like this happen, in a moment like this, and you see Mike come on and listen, I got the studio. You want to bring Black in, you want to do this, you want to do that. You gotta fucking respect that, man.
Mm-hmm.
And people don't all too often extend themselves at such a length as well, and it's a beautiful thing, man. It's definitely a beautiful thing. Frank, I know you watching, brother. I know you heard him. Throw that hand up, brother. You heard him, right?
There you go. Somebody's calling.
Somebody's calling. Let's see who it is. Here we go.
Were you trying to call earlier?
Hold on. Hello? Oh, wait, here it goes. My phone I got the Arab phone. Oh, they hung up.
You got the shit from Wish. Call back. Whatever it was, if you listen, call back. He got that Wish delivery phone.
I know it. Let me close this out.
Obama's phone? You got Obama shit still.
Why you blowing me up, son? Why you telling everybody my business, yo? You foul. No, that's not it. That's not it. I had my Gmail open, and that's why you were hearing the ringing. So when I went to switch it over, I fucked it up.
Whoever's listening, call back, please.
Yes, 973-765-6247. Yo, funny that you were mentioning that stuff. So where did all that come from out of left field?
Well, just listening to Yeah, I mean, I remember, you know, Tom McCann parties and stuff like that.
Mhm.
You know, so I remember, you know, I just remember certain situations and people being put in bad situations. You know, so
Mhm.
you know, it's something. You know, listening to the sister and Frank talk about him being always protective and stuff like that, it just made me think about that. You know, maybe him as a man was like, you know what, I'm gonna just fall back because this is bringing, you know, BS in the streets that we don't need.
For sure.
So
It's funny that you mentioned that. Earlier today, I was speaking to another Sunset Park legend. Oh, we got a call. Let's see who this is.
From
Brandon Clare.
Brandon on the line.
to accept, press 1. To send a voicemail.
So, who is on the phone? State your name and where you're calling from.
Hey, what's up? My name is Brandon Clare. I'm calling from New Jersey, but originally from Sunset Park, Brooklyn.
Oh shit, ladies and gentlemen, we have Mr. Brandon Clare on the line. Brandon, what's up? What's going on?
What's up? Not much, brother. I just wanted to say a quick story real quick about my brother, Gus.
All right.
I'm Brandon Harry's brother from ASG. It's funny how I met him, and that's basically what started all this. There were dancers, like Mr. A was saying, and I was a break dancer, but we didn't know each other. I was walking on the street. It was with three guys, Avid and Chuck, and they were looking at me, and I was kind of a little troublemaker back in the day. So I was like looking at it, and they were like, "Oh, we don't dance." So I took off my shirt. I did a suicide flip on the sidewalk with no shirt and a backspin. With no shirt on the concrete, and that's how we started being friends and shit. And then from there, it all just spiraled downhill. We all got together.
Yo, you know what's crazy about that story, Brandon? I kind of remember you doing shit like that.
Yeah, man, yeah. I was a fucking little psycho back in the days.
Yo, brother, we appreciate you calling, man.
Thanks for everything, man. I love you guys.
Yeah, you know what it is,
Brandon,
brother.
hope all is well, my brother.
Yeah, man.
All right, cool.
Peace. He said he did a suicide flip.
Took your shirt off, though.
He took his, no, yeah.
Shirt off,
He
too.
took
You
his
gotta make
shirt.
sure you hit that.
And Brandon was like 6 feet, 6'1", like 80 pounds. Wow. He took his shirt off. Phone lines are open. It's 973-765-6247 if you want to call in. Wow. Dude did a suicide. Whew. You think it hurt? I think it hurt.
Nah, back then. I used to do suicides on the cardboard. Shit, now I'll be dead.
With the concrete underneath it and everything?
Yeah, the cardboard.
No, it is a suicide.
Yeah.
Oh, man. That is crazy. Yo, it's funny because now that he mentioned Chuck and Ivan, we got another caller. Let's see who we got here.
Call from
Benjamin White.
to accept.
Say
press 1.
word.
To send a voicemail. Press
Caller, state your name and where you're calling from.
Benjamin White in New York.
Mr. White, good evening. Welcome to the set. What would you like to share with the audience in remembrance of our brother, Mr. Gustavo Fiol, a.k.a. Blink?
Hey, real quick, first and foremost, man, I just want to give praise to God on this Resurrection Sunday.
Salute.
Next, just give a shout out to my brother, Gustavo Fiol, name. If you guys don't know who I am,
we know who you are. We know who you are, brother.
I didn't remember who you was until, I actually seen your face, Mr. A.
All right, salute.
Garner.
All right.
Y'all can do whatever talking y'all can do after that. Shelly, I remember you too, man. Balling everything in the streets, man. Appreciate you guys. What y'all doing for my family, man. I really appreciate it, man. I'm a little emotional right now. So, again, I just wanted to say, Gus was a beast in the streets, beats on brother, man. I miss him. I love him. I'm going to hold down Frank and the rest of the family. And I think that's about it for now, man. Your Ern will catch up later. Sully will catch up later.
Appreciate you, man.
Thanks again. Appreciate you guys, man. All right?
Hold your head, big man.
Yeah, hold your head, B. Be good.
Yeah. Try. Peace.
Peace.
Peace. That's Ben and Terrence.
It's
yeah,
Ben.
okay.
As soon as I heard Benjamin
I
White,
thought it was Reggie.
No.
I swear I thought it was Reggie White.
His voice,
changed
little
into
something.
Benjamin. So I was like, oh, you giving.
Salute to the
big
brothers.
shout out.
Yeah, for sure. Salute to the brothers Ben and Terrence. Them dudes on the ball court, man. Ben especially, because he was a little more heavier than Terrence. He carried more muscle on his. But son, pause. But salute to the brothers Ben and Terrence, man. Thank you for calling in. 973-765-6247 if you want to call in. Man, I want. Where did he say he was calling from?
New York.
Did he say New York?
Yeah, he said New York.
Okay. All right. We're going to take one or two more callers, and then we're going to start closing out the show. We have a little something special. As a matter of fact, you know what? Let me run that now. So if you call, sorry, we got to share something real quick. Where's it at? All right, here we go. Bump, bump, bump.
I wonder what it was like in the old days. Plenty of servants I met.
When I say Messiah, it's only as a symbol. I'm trying to pull you out of limbo. Let's get together, make an endeavor. Polish, black, Spanish, whatever. Stars and stripes, hammer and sickle. Strip your last nickels, the government's fickle. M16's killing your brother. Nations rise against each other. Declare order, we need not panic. Government annex laws that are frantic. You can it, I won't succumb. I refuse to submit to the blind and the dumb. Opaque, dark panorama. Propaganda, gossip, and slander. Serpent shenanigan is defamatory. Born again, here's the real story. Some mock, scoff, or jeer me. Most will hear me, others fear me. Predator, in an uproar. Get in store for the master of metaphor. I refine the slime that decays the mind. Snakes slither, some sidewind, some crush dreams like a pedal. Killing the next man earns you some medals. Bruised days, then a monetary maze. Lead a brigade, cause I'm a renegade. Seek the force when you're lost. Fight to the end at any cause. To some I may be a liar, but in reality, I'm the Messiah. 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 This is a message from the blink. Blood flows red and feces stink. So what's the
Man, it's a little tribute for our brother, Mr. Gus Fiol. Put that together. Thank you to the family, Natalie, Frank, Mom Dukes, and everybody. They came through and shared those photos. It was man, seeing Gus's life in that way puts a lot of perspective on it. We got another call. Let's see who this is.
From. To accept, press 1. To send a voice.
Good evening, caller. State your name and where you're calling from.
Well, I'm calling from Brooklyn, New York. My name is Bert Santiago, but the neighborhood knew me as Marcel, and Benjamin White gave me the name Mark.
Okay. What do you like to share about our brother, Mr. Fiol, Gus, a.k.a. Blink?
Well, Blink, man, I'm blessed to see Blink. I see Blink freestyle St. Michael's with Fresco. I seen Blink, by time of can, he dance too. But the thing is, when I went out of town and came back, I met Blink in Manhattan. He was starting selling his comic books. I got power packs for him and some X-Men collectible items.
Wow.
He was a deep brother, man. He was a deep brother.
Salute. Man, yo, thank you for calling the show. Stay up, brother. And remember, just keep, Blink's memory in your heart and keep it alive, all right?
True indeed, my brother. True indeed. Peace. Almighty ASC.
Peace. Nigga stole your name. Marcel.
Yeah. I
caught that. He was that gentleman that that gentleman that just called was a younger brother who used to run back in the days and be in all the house parties and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
So all right. I wanna, I'm gonna bring this show to a closing, but before we do, I want to share a message from Blink's wife, Natalie. And, this was very, very tough on her. And it was a suggestion made that she put together a recorded video message for everybody. And she felt that was best. And so we're going to share that with you now. This is his wife, Natalie. Let me pull this up right here.
Hello, everyone. I'm Natalie Fiol, Gus Fiol's wife. Many of you know me as Lolly. First of all, I'd like to say thank you to the set, Mr. A and Sally, for having this tribute in Gus's honor. He was very excited to be on with you guys, and even from his hospital bed, he was telling you not to give away his date. Thank you for honoring that. I also want to thank everyone else out there watching and listening tonight and remembering Gus. It makes me feel so happy to know the impact that Gus had on so many people through his creativity, talent, and music, and of course, just by being him. He was humble, and I'm not sure he realized the legacy he leaves behind. My Gus was made up of a powerful combination of dichotomies. He was strong but compassionate, serious but so funny, brilliant but rough around the edges. It was always important to him to do the right thing by his friends, his family, in business, and on a bigger social justice level. He spoke his truth, both in his lyrics and directly to you, not to angelify him, because sometimes he was so real that the truths he spoke were not always received well at first, but eventually you were better off for having heard them. He was a man who loved with every part of himself, and I'll always be grateful to have been loved by him. As you can tell from his lyrics, justice for everyone, truth, and love were the priority themes in his life. If you take anything from his passing, let it be to not take your time here for granted. Fight for what's right. Speak up, put your truth out there. Be grateful, don't take your blessings for granted. Love fiercely. The final clip about to be played is what I believe he would have wanted to be his final message. It's something he recorded on his phone in his office, so it's raw, a little rough around the edges, but profound, just like him. Gus, until we meet again, you are the love of my life. Rest in peace and power, my love.
Wow.
Yeah.
Super heavy. Super heavy. I wanted to close out the show with that in this next recording. But before I play the recording, I want to take this call. This person has been trying to get through, and I'm sorry to keep everybody waiting. Can you stop with the damn ice, brother? You killing me.
Melting, bro. Yeah, I'm killing you with the fucking Nokia earlier.
I want to take this call real quick, and then we'll play his recording.
Yes, my brother.
Salute. Listen,
Salute, God. I gave you a shout out. I went live on Instagram. I shouted out the set.
Whoa. State your name and where you're calling from, brother.
Right now?
Yeah, you're on the show. You live. So state your name and where you're calling from.
Oh, yo. What up, God? Yeah, peace to the gods, man. I'm talking to my man Ernest Selly. The set is in the building. I'm Shy Nookie, a.k.a. Shaheed. A lot of people know me as Steve from back in the days, but I'm well known as Shaheed among my family and in the circle. And Shy Nookie is the name. Shy Nookie is the name in the game, man. People know my name from Brooklyn all the way to Harlem. Real facts. So, I'm here on the strength of Eileen. So what's the deal? May I speak or what?
I want you to share your thoughts. Speak on it, God.
Yeah. So bottom line, I'm very honored. First and foremost, it's my first time on this Supreme podcast called The Set. Sunset Park. These are my niggas from another figure. I love these brothers. I grew up with them. I played ball with these, these brothers. You know what I'm saying? Sully, this shit, the nigga used to always, cheat when we played twin touch back in the day. When we was kids and shit.
I cannot confirm or deny those accusations.
I used to give him 2-hand touch. He used to do extra and bump into the cars and say I pushed him too hard. Fuck out of here, man. That's my boy Sully. I love that nigga, man. And my boy Ern, man, that nigga just don't change, man. Spanish black don't crack. You know what I mean? All he do is rocking the bed and shit. You know, if the nigga got the shape up and everything, he gonna look like he's 25, man. Fuck out of here, man. But
Whoa.
this is Sunset, and I'm on the set, and I'm very honored. It's my first time coming here, and it was already, you and me, Ern, we spoke about it. I was like a couple of months back. We was chopping it up that I was gonna make a little appearance on the show. So, you know, it wasn't like we wasn't planning this, you know what I mean? And then ironically, rest in peace to the God Arlene, you know, I'm here to speak on his behalf. I mean, I was just talking to Arlene about a month ago, bro. Like, really not about a month ago. Like, literally 4 weeks ago, and 4.5 weeks ago, we was chopping it up last month. Like, right before he went to the hospital, we was on the horn. We was on the fucking cell phone every other day, texting each other back and forth. He's blessing me with his new rhymes, you know, giving me the preview to the preview. You know what I mean? And then, yeah, I was flabbergasted. I was like, damn, this is going to be ridiculous. You know what I mean? And then we had one conversation that went past an hour, like over an hour and 10, 15, 20 minutes, my dude. So that's my brother, man. That's my brother for real, man. It's like he's in my innermost circle. You know, Arlene is such a family member to me that, rest in peace to my mom, who passed away, God bless her soul. Mommy would be in Puerto Rico, and Arlene could call my moms and be like, Mommy, I'm going to come over, you know what I'm saying, for about a month, all right? And Mommy be like, okay, come on over. Just like that, my nigga. That's how much he was in the family, my nigga. Real talk. So this is it hit home, my brothers. I'm going to tell y'all right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, I really am going to be quite honest and quite, you know, like abruptly raw with y'all. Yeah, I'm going to be frank with y'all. Pun intended, because I know Frankie probably, you know, Frankie Belladucci's in the fucking building.
He's watching.
Shout out to him and V. Yeah, V is my heart, man. That's like my little sister. At the end of the day, and I was like in a rut. Like when I found out, when Frankie gave me the text, bro, I shut down. Like, I remember that talking to Frankie 3 days before that. Saturday night, yo, I called him out the woodwork. Yo, Frank, what up, God? What's up with Arlene? Give me the update, man, because I've been trying to call him. And, you know, I mean, the first week he was in the hospital, we going back and forth on a thread. It was me, him, Kadar, and my brother Ali. We had our little thread going. So boom, 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 we cracking jokes. I'm like, I'm going to keep it a buck. Like, you know what I'm saying? I was like, yo, Arlene, why don't you grab the fucking nurse's ass or some shit like that? Niggas was like, yo, niggas was wilding this shit. You know what I mean? We was like, yo, grab that, yo. Niggas was stupid. You know what I mean? We was doing that man talk and the locker room talk. You know what I mean? Yo, I bet you got some nice little Russian ass nurses with some Caribbeans up in there. Fuck that. Grab that bitch. You know what I mean? We was talking that man talk and we was joking. He was loving it, man.
Sha,
yeah.
I want you to give the audience one of your best or favorite memories with Blink.
Man, I'm going to tell you real quick. Oh, man. One of my most vivid, I'm going to put it like that. I'm going to coin it vividly. One of my most vivid fucking memories with Arlene, and I'm going to keep it a buck 100, was like when we was like 15, 16 years old, something like that. 17 years old. And we was somewhere on Fifth Avenue, but I was coming up the block. And as I come on up the block, I looked across the street, right there on the corner of 5th and 52nd Street. Homie was hemming up two niggas. They was fighting with it. And Arlene hemmed them up so quick. You know what I mean? And me, at that time, I wasn't as wild as I evolved into being. So I kind of like froze at the, you know what I mean? I'm man enough to say it. I told my nigga, I froze for a second, like, yo, like, I didn't know really what to do at that point. And Arlene hemmed them niggas up. Boom, 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 boom. Like a vicious fucking fighter. Bam, 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 bam. And handled his business. And I was like, oh, and then I, you know what I'm saying, ran across the street. And the niggas, you know, both, you know, they boated or whatever. And then me and Arlene was chopping it up. As a kid, I remember that, man. I'll never forget that. I also remember, man, when he first started grinding in the city. You know what I mean?
This comic book business.
Yeah, man, I learned a lot. Because, you know, I was like, at one point, you know, I've been working since I was 14, so I go to, you know, get my little gigs here and there. And this is around time I'm in my early 20s, and I'm a little rugged, I'm a little thugged out nigga and shit. You know, going through that phase of my life, and you know, a couple of jobs didn't work out for me or whatever. They found out I had a record or whatever. They fired me. So I was like, fuck, yeah, man.
Hold on, Shy. You was lying on the application?
I was lying on the application, my nigga. I was kind of like stretching it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I evaded certain questions or whatever. But I did get hired. I was working, and then 2 months later, hey, Garcia, they want you up in the office. And I'm thinking I'm getting a fucking promotion, like they like me. Oh, I'm sorry, sir. You're gonna have to let you go. I'm here to load and explain everything. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, I just started the job.
You got the
But
name.
anyway,
You got the name. That's what it is. Garcia is a threat right there. Like that sounds suspect. You sound like you're a youthful offender. Garcia, come over here, brother. Yo, Sha. Let me ask you to close it out because we're gonna have you close out the show.
Yeah.
Send the love and blessings for the brother, the right way.
So, Eileen?
Yeah, man. We're gonna close it out on your words, brother.
All right, man. Look, Eileen, real talk, man. You know, if I could say this from my heart, my dude, on the low. Eileen, man, I came to your funeral, man, and I was so mad. I ain't gonna lie, it wasn't even happiness. I was mad, like I wanted to grab the fucking casket, my nigga. Straight up. I had that in me. I was willing to grab the casket with some brothers, lift your ass up and take you the fuck out of there and bring you somewhere. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? That's how I felt, man. Like I wasn't ready to just accept it. You know what I mean? And I would have rather had Eileen chill with me in my crib for a little while in the casket. I would have fucking threw some oils on that shit. You know what I mean? Treat the God like a pharaoh. That's Eileen is special. Eileen is a pharaoh. Eileen got supreme knowledge itself. Eileen, aka Blinko, ain't no regular dude. He was advanced. You know what I mean? And that's a powerful thing for us to brag about because he came out of Sunset Park, literally, really originally from Bushwick, but he honed his skills in Sunset. You know what I'm saying? He got his kahunas in Sunset. You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, he's forever in my inner circle. And I love you, Eileen. Wallahi al-haq, my nigga. You know, we speak the never. We speak that Nuwapu, baby. That non-ether talk, baby. You that supreme God. And you got knowledge yourself, God. So you one with Allah. You know what I'm saying? You one with the earth. You one with the sun, moon, and stars. You in the ether. You amongst the ancestors. Like you amongst Osiris, Asaru. You amongst Haru, my nigga, because you was always that dude in my circle that we could talk about these type of things. You know what I'm saying? And he kept it real and it translated in his rhymes. So I'm honored. And I said, you know, one last time, Eileen, I love you, and your name forever gonna live. As far as I'm concerned, and a couple other good dudes. You know, there's a few good men up in Sunset. We're going to make sure your name reign, baby. Real talk. You know what I mean? Real talk. We got unfinished business, my nigga.
We love you, brother. We appreciate you coming on the show, man.
Love you, bro. Thank you.
All right?
Yeah, no doubt. Love is love, baby. Shout out to Ern. Shout out to my boy, Study. I need some arroz con pollo. I'll be hook up.
Got you.
Pork, I don't fuck with pork, but hook me up with everything else, my nigga. Everything else. Let me get that pescado, that fucking bacalao, and all that, my nigga.
All right, Sha. One.
All right.
One.
Peace to the God.
Peace.
Adrian,
that 2 minutes out the window, bye.
All right. We're going to play this file. First of all, I want to thank everybody for coming to the show. I want to thank the Claire brothers. I want to thank Mr. Benjamin White for calling in to give a salute. I want to thank the Fiol family, Frank, Mama Love, and the little sister. What's her name, Nat?
I'm sorry.
No, Valerie. Valerie, don't get mad at me, Valerie.
Yeah.
We appreciate you coming on. Mr. Delgado, the big bro, and everybody in the room.
Mm-hmm.
Big sis Lunil. I was hoping you would come through on the phone, but there was like 3 people I dubbed. But it's all good. Again, every year from now until this show is over, every Easter, we're going to celebrate Blink's life. And I want everybody to understand that if we bring this back around next year, if we here, God willing, we're going to bring everybody into the fold so we can have a little more interactive discussion. And if somebody's calling right now, should I take this?
I think it's up to you. Just make it the last call. You know, just let everybody know if you want to make it the last call.
No, this is it.
David Martin. Dave Vaughn.
Caller, what's your name? Where you calling from?
It's Dave Vaughn.
Salute.
From the Bronx.
Dave Vaughn.
Living in Jersey right now.
Salute. Listen, brother. We were gonna close out the show, but I saw you calling, so you get the last word, brother. You get the last word.
Yo, that's Arlene talking right there. Yo, me and Arlene was way back from junior high school. Like Shaheed said, the inner circle. And me and Arlene used to do the comics together, partners forever. You know what I'm saying?
All right.
I just got one thing. I got something I need to share real quick. And I was burning because when you were talking to little brother Frank, he was like, he was asking him, like, when was Arlene's turn, right?
Uh-huh.
Yo, when we came up in high school, Arlene went to Grady out of Bushwick, right? He came out of junior high school 152 in Bushwick. Arlene came out of, went to Grady. Arlene used to be in Grady in the lunchroom while they was banging on tables back in the 80s, right?
All right.
Rocking the mic, and he hit the whole lunchroom.
Wow.
He came to me, he was like, yo, Dave, yo, I was in there and I was banging, I was busting around, and that's how he got his in, you know, because Grady was the all-black school, you know, back in the 80s. You know, everything was like segregated like that. You understand what I'm saying?
For sure.
Right? Arlene coming from Bushwick, going to Grady, you know what I'm saying? And when he went there and he rocked them, like all the dudes in Grady was on him, like, yo, Gus, you nice, this, that, and the other, and he got his popularity in that. He went to Grady to play football.
That's right. That's right.
When he sit there, like, I mean, I got stories. Me and Arlene, we done been through the trenches. You understand what I'm saying? Y'all talking about how dudes ain't like us in the in Sunset because he was making a little bit of noise. You know what I'm saying? We was dressing. Arlene was going to after place, getting his haircut, coming back to Sunset, and we was dancing, and he was doing this thing. Yo, hot bagels after Union Square. You understand what I'm saying?
For real.
Like, that's my man. That's my man. I love him to death. You know what I'm saying? That's my right hand right there. You hear me?
Salute.
Right? And all the brothers is in the house right here, and they showing mad love. You understand what I'm saying?
For sure.
Like, yo, I lost a part of me when my man left. You feel me? He used to call me. Yo, call me, Shy, everybody. But wherever I was at, he was calling me. He changed my life with them comics. You feel what I'm saying? And his rhymes always put life into everything because he scripted it. You know what I mean? He only wrote rhymes when he was emotional about some shit. You know what I'm saying? And his rhymes always was monumental. I remember when I took him up to because I'm gonna give you a quick one. I remember when I took the whole crew up to City College, right? It was right after my cousin died, and he had a record label. So we had the record label. I was trying to push it. I said, "Yo, y'all come up here because my man Charles, the one who was down with the Furious Five, the one that made the roof was on fire, was the DJ up at City College at that time. You feel what I'm saying? So I brought him up there. I brought him. I brought Adrian. I brought Frankie. You know what I'm saying? Because they just had some shit called tape rape, and that shit was like blazing, right? And Arlene was the big brother to everybody. You feel me? Yo, he went up there and he lit it on fire. Yo, I swear, for like 4.5 minutes, he was just straight freestyling. You understand what I'm saying? I mean, everybody else got theirs, but what he did
was different.
Yo, what? And I knew my man had to eat that. I'm talking about, we was junior high school. You understand what I'm saying? Writing fucking Run DMC Christmas rhymes. You understand what I'm saying? To what he evolved to, brother. You know what I'm saying? To what he evolved to. You
Salute, Davon.
And like, yo, I'm talking about up until the day, my brother. Up until the day, he don't FaceTime nobody. You understand what I'm saying? He needed to see faces, and I spoke to him. I said, yo, you got this. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I said, yo, you got this. You got this. You feel me? He saved my life plenty of times. And every time he got into some shit, I was there. You feel me? I was there, my brother. I was there.
Salute.
A few Coca-Colas in Sunset. You feel me?
Yo, Davon. Salute. We're gonna close out the show, man. We appreciate you calling in, man. And remember, Blinko's life and memory alive every day that you go forward. All right.
Yo, he gonna walk with us, brother, and he gonna be there. He knocking on your man's door right now.
Him too. Salute, Dave Ron. We get
Take care, brother.
All right.
Peace.
All right.
Yeah, speaking of doing it different, like he said, they mentioned it earlier about him doing the Apollo.
Yeah.
He did the Apollo and rocked out. Like people, he ain't getting that too much. Latino doing the Apollo.
Nope.
So,
at all. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna play this last clip. This was, I believe, one of the last things that Blink recorded, and I listened to it. It's not something to dance to. This is something more like heartfelt, I guess, of what he was feeling at that moment. So I'm gonna play this, and we're gonna close out the show. All right. You hear that sound?
Yeah.
No matter what, love is the strongest force in the universe. I know that we all will fall short of your grace. I just hope that one day we all could see your face in the place far beyond all time and space, where we exist together, all in a common place. Peaceful green field where nothing is misplaced, exactly where it belongs. No history erased, no mysteries or monarchy, no theories to debate. Equality for everyone.
So that was like a little clip that he just. It's crazy when I listened to that. I was like, wow, that's I don't know.
That's the Chris Cross, right?
Yeah, Christopher Cross. It's not far to
Sailing,
sailing. Yeah, there you go. But yeah, people, listen. We appreciate everybody. Salute to all the brothers that called in. Salute to all the family members that came in, even as far as Australia. Salute to our brother Frank, again, Mommy and Valerie, and Mike Delgado. We appreciate everybody.
Everyone.
And always remember that this is Blink's day officially, Easter Sunday. And keep his memory alive, man. So until the next time, we out of here.